Hello and welcome to the CYF course. Today we continue on the topic of winning the heart of our children. We had a first session where we laid down the foundation and we'll continue today. You know, Jesus became incarnate. He came to live among us. He lived on earth for almost 30 years, incognito. He was one of us. In the same way, to win someone's heart, let's enter his world. Let's join him in his activities, discover his friends, take an interest in his hobbies, his passions, even if ours are very different. Because of the value we attach to the relationship, we cross cultural barriers. Love broadens our hearts. Jesus got to know his disciples. He joined them in their work, in their family. He even met Peter's mother-in-law. Let's create opportunities for living together, eating together, loose tongue. Let's celebrate, let's party, let's listen, let's encourage. When I understood the importance of these heart-to-heart relationships, I asked God to help me develop that with my children. He gave me the idea of taking turns, offering 1 hour a week with Daddy to do the activity of their choice. These times became a tradition, and even if the weekly rhythm was not always maintained, they offered intentional opportunities to meet again, to share, to listen to each other. They helped to cultivate our relationship from heart to heart. I remember my son Baptiste, who wanted me to play a video game with him. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I did it willingly, waiting to have a little sharing time at the end. But nothing. He just said, "Thank you, Daddy." A few weeks later, same situation again. New video game time, again without sharing time. The next time, he wanted to play the video game again. But after 20 minutes, he put his joystick down and said, "Daddy, I have a question for you." We discussed deep things during the rest of our time together. At the end, I asked him, "Why did you wait 3 of our moments together before talking about this?" His answer challenged me. "I wanted to see if you really cared about me or if you just wanted to pass on your lessons." Again, trust is earned over time. To win our children's hearts, let's keep our promises. If we promised them an outing to the movie theater, let's do it. Or let's not use promises we don't intend to keep to get them to do what we want. This is not the image of the Father. Let's not be stingy with small attentions. A little gift, a note on their pillow when they come home at night, a surprise. Let's be creative in what we do. Finally, let's take responsibility for our own emotions. We are human. Sometimes we get irritated, we get carried away, our words, our intensity, our tone, our attitude goes beyond what we would like. Let's get back to them. Let's take the first step. As the Father who loved us first, let's ask for forgiveness for our part in our overreaction, while explaining what their attitude, their action, or their words have provoked in us. It is a matter of the heart. By doing this as a habit, we do not let things get out of hand, nor do we let the defense mechanisms take hold and push us away. The Apostle Paul wrote, "So we have stopped evaluating others from a human point of view." Other versions translate "according to the flesh." It is an invitation to look beyond appearances and to ask the Father's gaze on the person. In order to win someone's heart, we need to speak to their heart and call to life that which may not be yet visible today. This requires asking the Father to speak to us about the person and spending time in prayer for her, for him, even when we feel we know him well, even if it is our spouse or one of our kids. Who is this person, Lord? What do you see in her? As the Father speaks to us, little by little, he changes the way we look at the person. And we can begin to verbalize what He shows us with tact and sensitivity. Created in the image of God, our words have the potential to create. They also have the potential to destroy and to lock us up if we focus on the negative, on the weaknesses, on the faults. So many children in our perfectionist and negative culture have a low self-esteem, feel worthless or incapable because they want to improve their weaknesses and faults rather than capitalize on their strengths. We cannot grow gifts we have not received. A culture of honor in our families, in which we make a habit of celebrating each other, in which we refrain from demeaning, scorning, cynicism, fawning or taunting, is the best breeding ground for the development of the full potential in a secure relational climate. At the same time, we also learn to speak the truth in love. That is, to express our disagreements respectfully, speaking in I without accusing. Authenticity has many aspects. But many are afraid of authenticity, vulnerability, and transparency. Wounds and difficult experiences of the past do not give us full confidence. The problem is that fear and insecurity open the door to control, manipulation, and domination, which are human and even demonic attempts to manufacture the fruit of a heart-to-heart relationship. We impose it from the outside rather than see it born from within. Heart-to-heart is only possible in let it go. If we do not take this step, the fruit will slip into our hands. What we want to secure and keep will slip out of our hands. Our children will run away from us to get out of our grip. You know, God Himself has been betrayed, His heart trampled on. We ourselves have done it many times, but He still keeps on coming close to us in His vulnerability, His patience, and His unshakable trust in us. He continues, despite the risk of rejection, of suffering, to offer us His heart and to seek ours. He alone can restore us, set us free, and make us capable of overcoming our human tendencies, of no longer being led by the diktat of our insecurities. He understands us, He consoles us, and He shares His own heart with us when we are rejected. Brené Brown describes the connection between two people as the bond that exists between them when each feels seen, heard, and valued. When they can give and receive without judgment, and when they can draw support and strength from the relationship. Being physically present means that I am physically there for the other person, that they can count on my physical warmth, on my heartbeat, on my marks of affections and hugs. Being mentally present means that I keep her in mind, in the flow of my thoughts, in the heart and center of what I know is best for her life. Being emotionally present means that I welcome her emotions, both positive and negative, without trying to change her, make her feel better or heal her. Being spiritually present means that I carry her in my prayers, seeking God's gaze on her and communicating it to her through my words and attitudes. The world is home to nearly 8 billion people connected to each other. This connection can take many forms. 17th century British author John Donne wrote, "No man is an island." Yes, we are all connected. Some of us do it through physical encounters. Nearly 2.5 billion people are connected through different types of social media. People explain their presence on media platforms for different reasons. It is estimated that the average person will spend more than 5 years on social media during their lifetimes. However, there are times when we feel lonely. Could it be that part of the need to accumulate friends and followers is related to our desire to be connected to others? Could it be that all the clicks are a way for us to strengthen a sense of connection? Studies have shown that the more we are connected to social media, the more likely we are to become socially isolated. A heart-to-heart relationship can only develop in real life, and it requires learning certain relational and emotional skills. In fact, we are encouraged to live it in both generational directions, with our children and with our parents. A friend of mine, Christophe Loy, former international director of KKI and now pastor of the Yahoo Church in Biel, Switzerland, told me how the Lord challenged this aspect in his life. He had made good progress on this connection with the heart of his children when this thought came to him. You are also someone's son. You have to seek the heart of your father. Christophe came from a rather conservative church, and he had never had a deep relationship with his father. They had never spoken together from the heart. So he asked God, "What do you want me to do?" And the Lord told him, "Invite your father to spend the weekend with you." Surprised, Christophe wondered what his father might think about that. He waited several months, actually, before taking action and passing on the invitation to his father. The father was even more surprised. "What? A whole weekend? What do you want us to do together?" Actually, both of them were afraid of this confrontation because they didn't really know each other at heart level, and his father was from a generation that was not very connected to his emotions. Finally, the weekend came. Christophe had prepared questions for his father, and they connected on a level never experienced before. He also shared some of the steps of his journey, his questions, his fears. They walked, they played cards, went fishing. It was a highlight for both of them. What courage! What a testimony! Bringing the heart of fathers to their sons and the heart of sons to their fathers is not only an issue for parents and their teenagers. It starts with our own parents. Actually, what we don't want to deal with our own parents is likely to resurface in our relationship with our children. So practically, how do we do that? Asking questions is a good way to search a person's heart and learn how to connect deeply. Here are 20 ideas for concrete questions to help you search for your children's hearts. 1. What is your favorite food? What is the one you like the least? The goal is to break the ice and establish an open and friendly atmosphere. 2. Who is your best friend? The goal is to find out which friends' peers have the greatest influence on them. 3. Who would you like to be like when you grow up? The goal is to find out what kind of person they want to be. 4. What makes you uncomfortable in our family relationships? The goal is to find out what hurts them or give them rejection in what we do, say, as parents and as a family. 5. What is your greatest fear? The goal is to find out if the enemy has been able to infiltrate fears into their life. 6. What is your favorite activity? The goal is to discover clues, ideas for activities or projects for heart-to-heart moments with your child. 7. What is your favorite song? Your favorite style of music? Your favorite band? We can also talk about movies, video games, apps, social media, books. The goal is to find if they open themselves up to unhealthy media influence. 8. Outside of our family, who has the biggest influence on your life? How does this person influence you? The goal is to find out who your children's role models are and what values influence them. 9. What are the areas you most like to learn about? The goal is to better understand your children's gifts and interests, and in what areas to encourage them to learn. 10th, what have you done in your life to date that has given you the most satisfaction? The goal is to discover how to build self-esteem and integrate a spiritual dimension into it. 11th, what irritates you the most in our family? The goal is to become aware of the challenges that the family must work on and to teach children how to respond to sources of irritation. 12. What makes you angry? The goal is to find out what areas they have not submitted their rights or expectations to God. The Bible's purpose is to help them manage these areas. 13. What would you like to do when you grow up? And the goal is to find out where your children are headed. Help them develop a sense of destiny. 14th, what has been your biggest disappointment so far? The goal is to learn what hurts them. Explain what God can accomplish through our disappointments. 15th, if you had the power to change anything in your appearance, would you use it? If so, what would you change? The goal is to find out how they reject themselves, to have clues to help them accept and appreciate the way God created them. 16th, what do you appreciate the most about each member of the family? The goal is to focus on the positive qualities of the family. Then, encourage them to share with others what they appreciate about them. 17. Which biographies have touched you the most? The goal is to see if your children are interested and inspired by other people's lives. 18th, what do you prefer to do as a family activity? The goal is to learn how to organize family moments that your children will enjoy. Afterwards, plan an activity with them. 19th, encourage them to be honest. If you could change anything about me, what would you change? And the goal is to find out where you are messing up your relationship with them. And finally, 20, when you come to the end of your life, looking back, what would you like to have accomplished for God? And the goal is to find out if they have a purpose in life. I bless you as you start in this journey or continue in this journey of learning heart-to-heart connections, relationship, and communication. And we'll put a few questions to help you process and pray for one another. May the Lord bless you as you grow in this area.